I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and the bishops at Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, and blessings to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 and one-third. Shalom to all the Akim and Aqua. And Shalom to all fellow believers. Shalom. Alright, so as y'all already can see, we have so many things going on in this world. We got over there in India, the internet is cut. People are rioting over there. They're very upset about what's happening over there in their own land. We got assassinations, whether it may be true or be a psyop. It's nevertheless, the point is that this place is going down the drain. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about this. It truly has to happen. Yeah, so a lot of things that are happening. And soon, as we see these tanks going throughout these cities, it's only a matter of time that sedition starts hitting. It's only a matter of time that people are going to try to go, and some of them will think they could do it against the government, and it's going to be race wars as well. People will be picking sides. A lot of people think that stuff will not come to pass, but you are mistaken that stuff will happen. And a lot of people think you're going to be able to go back to living your regular lives after you have a few little fights in the street. Some of us will become pilgrims and strangers of this land. And you won't be able to return home. My wife has been having dreams about running all the time and only taking her weakest kids with her because she understands that they can't defend for themselves, and tell her stronger kids, you have to go and we'll meet up later. For a mother to have that type of thinking, I'm not mad at her for having that thinking, because that's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you got to raise your kids to a certain point, and you got to tell them you got to defend for yourself, because that's how I raise my kids. I have young kids, but I defend them like I tell them to be like men. I give my children knives. I show them how to use them, how to make other stabbing weapons, how to care for themselves. If someone tries to hurt them, use it. And my kids are under 10 years old, and I'll tell them, there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. A police officer defends himself. A soldier defends this soil. Someone breaks in your house, you have a right to defend yourself. So we're going to get in here. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. But sanctify Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, God, in our heart, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. So we always gotta defend this truth and defend our actions and defend why we feel and think that we do. So a lot of these Christians now are going against Israelites and saying we're the cause of this and that. We're not going to go back and forth with you, and we're not going to debate, but we will defend it We'll tell you why, and if you don't want to agree, then we will dust off our feet and go the other way. So we're going to defend this truth. But also being said, as you look in this picture, this looks like to be an officer pointing a gun at a person running, another person running, another person with a gun, the person running with a family member. And they're pointing the gun at them. That's how it's going to be when they start coming for the chosen ones. That's how exactly it's going to be. And you have to ask yourself, you could run and hide but for so much. But you also have to defend yourself. Just as we defend this truth. You're not going to let someone come into your house and just say, hey, they broke into your house. And they're like, listen, we want your wife, we want your kids. You're going to do your utmost to try to defend your family. Which, what man would you be if you wouldn't? And which man would you be if you don't defend his faith? They go hand in hand. We use the scriptures to defend the faith and to show the true teachings. And sometimes we might physically have to defend this faith. Because what if, say, when all this stuff is happening, let's say someone attacks one of the people in your camp. You do have a right to defend. First, call the police to have a record. Get out your cell phone, show that you're trying to de-escalate the situation. But if the people keep persisting, you have a right to defend yourself. Just like you have a right to defend your home, and you have a right to defend your life. You have that right. But what some people are not thinking is how is stuff going to go down. When there's Jacob trouble, it's already started. But when Jacob trouble really gets out of hand. And I'm not promoting violence in any way. So let that be well understood. But you have a right to defend yourself, just as anyone else does. I'm going to turn into Nehemiah chapter 4. And we'll start in We'll read from verse 14, and then we'll go to 17 and 18. And I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles and the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons, and your daughters, your wives, and your house. So the Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they fight for us. They fight for us. They're the ones that's going to have the ultimate protection in that time. But also with that being said, that doesn't mean that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai hasn't given you a brain. He hasn't given you some type of senses of what you should do. He has given you that. Just like how he has given you life. And you must protect your life by piercing into this word. But also sometimes you might have to physically protect your life that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has given you. Verse 17. They which build on the wall, and they that bared burdens with those men, lauded every one with one of his hand, rough and work, and with other hand held a weapon. All right. So they're building a wall. They got tools in one hand, and they got the sword. They got the weapon in the other hand. Verse 18. Well, I'm trying to read this. I wrote over it with a pen. That is, for the builder, if I'm saying that right, everyone had his sword girded by his side, and so build, and he that sound the trumpet was by me. Forgive me, I wrote this over with a pen, and it's kind of covering up the words a little bit. So, as they was building this wall, they had in one hand the tool. Imagine if you ever seen a bricklayer, they're building a wall. You got the trowel and the mix, and then you got the bricks. But also on their side, imagine them having a belt with a sheath. They got their sword. And also you got a man there that has a blowhorn to warn the people if people are coming to get ready. And see, that horn is this word. That's what it is. This horn is that word. And we must take heed to that word. But we also, as I said before, we have a right to defend ourselves. So I'm not saying everywhere you go, you got to be loaded down like a soldier. You got all your guns and all your swords and knives and you're ready to go. But also at the same time, you do want to be ready. And there's nothing wrong with keeping like a backpack. You might have some emergency clothes, some emergency food, and you might have to have something on you to protect you. Because see, a lot of brothers in the camps, they do have children and they do have family. And they're going to defend them. And you have to defend them. Because sometimes some people can't defend themselves. They can't. So it's nothing wrong with having things to defend yourself. It's when you want to go marching down the street, showing the whole world that you combat ready. That's a problem, because you're drawing too much attention to yourself, and you're really not relying on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But there's nothing wrong with having needed things that will protect you. Having water on you will protect you. It's going to protect your kidneys. Because if you don't have any water, kidneys going to drop. Or let's say someone throws a cocktail at you, a firebomb. You might be able to pull that water out of your backpack and put that water out, put that fire out. That's a service of protection. That's why the fire department, they got water on their trucks. Sometimes they might not be able to get to a fire hydrant. So anything could be used as a weapon. Your shoes could be used as a weapon. Your necklace could be used as a weapon. You might strangle someone to death because you're trying to protect yourself. So anything could be used as a weapon. Anything can be used for protection. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 10. This is Matthew 10. And I'm going to go into verse I'm going to go into verse 23. But when they pursue you in this city, flee ye unto another. All right? So that's what I wanted to bring out right there. People are going to be pursuing us. We're going to be running from city to city. And don't think you're going to be running from city to city without any violence that is occurring. As you see here, they're in the city. It's a building. Buildings. This person is fleeing while this person's chasing them with a gun. And it looked like it's a helmet because you can see the wild hair. But also when you look in this, the other person looks like it has a helmet or a hat. But when we fleeing in these cities, it's not going to be an easy thing. We're going to have to really protect ourselves and protect each other. It's not going to be a thing like that. And then you also got to understand, we're going to have a lot of anger in us when this stuff is happening. We're going to. As I was listening to this brother video today, he was saying we have the anger because it's built up in us. And it is built up in us for all the evil that they have done to us. It has been built up in us. But don't let that overtake you. That don't mean you use that anger to keep going and furthering the situation. Use your anger as your strength to get you by. And so that you can make it to the next place. This is Luke 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrips. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. All right? A sword is protection. All right? And further down, they came to Yahushua and said, in verse 38, and they said, Lord Yahushua, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. All right? As the elder was bringing out at camp, he was saying that they were going into rough neighborhoods. So they had to have a weapon. And that's how it's going to be with us too. We're going to be fleeing from this persecution. And Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, they're going to be protecting us. But he's also going to put that spirit on us to do what we have to do so we can protect ourselves. And there are going to be angels around there as well. All that stuff is going to be in effect. All of it. Everything is going to be in effect in that day. But that doesn't mean you can run out your house blindly. You should always, when this famine starts, people are going to try to break into people's homes. So you got to make sure you have your house fortified. You got to make sure that you keep your head on the swivel. Walk circumspectly. Always paying attention to what's going on around you. And have a backpack with you. With some food and some water. Nothing real heavy. Just something light. Something to keep you going. you know. But at the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are going to be the ultimate protection. But to make your flight go a little bit better, that doesn't mean you don't have the necessary steps. I mean, you're not about to say, I'm about to run from city to city, and you say, well, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to protect me, and I'm not going to put on some good shoes. No. You want to have on some good shoes. You want to have on some good clothes. Just like how it says, pray that it doesn't come in the winter. Can you imagine if it comes in the winter and it's cold? You got some bull crap shoes on, man. You might get frostbite on your toes. Now you got to cut off your toes. Now your journey's going to be even more harder. Even if it's not hot outside, take a light jacket with you, just in case. If you have some medication that you're taking, have a little bit of extra. Talk to your doctor. Say, hey, doc, we got stuff going on out here. Can I get a subscription for this extra meds? Because, hey, stuff might get bad and I might have to go. I don't see your doctor saying no on that. I mean, your doctor's supposed to be there to help you. Make sure you got extra stuff in your car. Even if you have a little pocket knife. A little pocket knife is not always using to stab someone. You might be able to cut some wood tinder and make yourself a little fire. You're going to need all that. We're going to turn to Jeremiah. And this is Jeremiah 51. And 9. Yeah, we're going to turn to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 and 9. This is Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky. You see, that's why this place is being judged the way it is. That's why this stuff is crumbling. If they would have had done what they were supposed to do and turned around from their sins and done right, could have been healed. But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai also shown in the scriptures, Salakia, that this is what is supposed to come to be. So the world can see this place for what it is, for all the wickedness, for all the abominations. This place is nothing but a place of foul birds. That's all it is. That's why this place has to have destruction come upon it. It has to. You can feel it in the air. You can smell it in the air. This is Jeremiah 51 in verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. This nation is going to be destroyed. And who does it say this going to be done by? The people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because it says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. We are those battle axes. We are going to be the weapons of war. What's supposed to be paid back to this place is going to have to be paid back for what they have done. It's going to be paid back. And I also want to go into the book of Ezekiel. Well, I wanted to go on Lamentations too. I'll go ahead and Lamentations. But we have to remember how we got into this situation. You know? And how we got into this situation is that our forefathers did not want to listen. So since we didn't want to listen, we had to go into slavery. If you turn to Lamentations chapter 5, we're going to start in verse 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. We have bore their iniquities, their mess ups that has come upon to us. In verse 8, servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. See, Edom is supposed to be serving us. That's how it's supposed to be. But it's not. Our servants rule over us. Can you imagine that? That's like your kids telling you what to do. That's not supposed to be done like that. But see, that happened because of our forefathers not doing what they were supposed to do. So now our servants are ruling over us. And now we are going, and we have been going through a lot of problems because of that. From generation to generation. That's what has happened. But also, if you turn to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. And that's what we have been doing. We've been giving you warnings about this impending destruction that's coming on to Babylon the Great. That's coming on to America. That's why you see us out there on these highways and these hedges. That's why you see our videos. And we see people all the time walk by us. They look at us. But the one good thing I would say what happened recently is a lady was walking by with her little girl. And the little girl said, Mommy, who are those men? And I sat there and I listened to what she said, everything. And she said, those are the Israelites. That's what she said. Those are the Israelites. And they're out here preaching from the Bible. She said, just like how we go out on Sunday, they come out on Saturdays and preach the word from the Bible. She said, listen. So they listened for about, 10, 15 seconds. And then they kept walking by. So it's no excuse. Even for that lady to tell her little girl that who are those men. And I'm never going to forget that. Because that was a beautiful thing for that to happen. Very, very beautiful. Because it shows you that the word is getting out. Nothing comes out from the Father and the Son it becomes void. It has to come to pass. It's going to happen one day. They're going to say, those guys that was right there in that corner every time we've been down here, we come down here to, to have fun and to do our thing with our family. Yeah, those are those guys. And imagine what the police officers would say, because we always see the police officers down there. Imagine when they say, hey, we don't see those guys no more. Then people are going to know what's up. So basically closing out this video, hope that it was edifying. Hope you found something that you could take away that can help you in your life to gain your relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That is Yahweh being the Heavenly Father of the universe, and Yahweh Shai, his very first and only begotten Son, and the first creation above all creation, the one that created everything after. So make sure you keep, as I said before, make sure you keep a backpack, some water, some type of power bar, and whatever you can to defend yourself, because we all gonna, sometimes you might not even be able to return home. Might not ever be able to return home. You might be like this person right here, running for your life. And you might be like these people, holding hands running. So with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles like Great Millstone that teaches this truth, this 100% truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the 144,000. Shalom to the 1/3. Shalom to all the Akim and Aqua. And shalom to all fellow supporters and fellow believers. Shalom.